And we're live. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Semrush Live. Today we will be discussing and being presented to by Fernando and Andras, and they'll be talking about the featured snippet optimization and the gateway to position zero and voice search. Don't forget, everyone, to use hashtag Semrush live chat on YouTube, and we'll try and get through as many of your questions as possible. So please fire as many over as possible. Today, as I say, we're being joined by Andras and Fernando. Just a couple of fun facts that I've got out of them. Andras has recently become a surfer, although it sounds like you're having a bit of a fun time with that. I'll let Andras explain a little bit more. And Fernando, I hadn't realised that in 2018, you participated in over 120 events over the world. I don't know how you did that and how you're still with us. So congratulations. That sounds like you've been on tour. So awesome. If I just hand over to you guys, introduce yourselves to everyone who's viewing us at the moment, and we'll move on from there. Excellent.
Yeah, hi. So my name is Andras. I'm the CEO of Red Orbit, and this is a digital agency based in Slovenia. Started working with SEO in 2001, 2002, and then slowly moved to different platforms as well. So Google, Facebook, and analytics in the last few years. So I kind of seen different phases of development at Google and so on. Also, we are organizing In Orbit, which is one of the largest European digital marketing and growth retreats in March. And Fernando was actually speaking there 2 weeks ago. We had some really interesting conversation with him at that point.
Yeah, it was really fantastic. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Fernando Angula. I'm head of international partnerships here at Semrush. And yes, I was participating at In Orbit 2 weeks ago. It was huge. It was really, you had really fresh content over there. I actually make a lot of new friends from the industry. A lot of them, they are still writing me on my phone right now. So the connection is good with everyone. So it's definitely, if you are attending an event all over Europe, all over the world, In Orbit is one must that you need to have in your list.
Oh, excellent. So I think we've got quite a few people already jumping into our webinar, which is pretty awesome. I don't know if you wanted to add any extra words, Andras, on the In Orbit conference, or whether you felt that was covered enough. If not, we may be able to jump into the first presentations if you guys are ready.
We can jump in, I guess.
Excellent.
At the end, I'll do some promo.
Cool. When you're ready, I'll hand it over to you.
Sure, just sharing my screen. Give me a couple of seconds. And here we go. So yeah. So funny thing is happening in the last few years. So more and more people are actually starting to have conversation with the devices, with cars, screens, phones, and so on. And as Google announced earlier this year, there are more than 1 billion devices now connected and available through Google Assistant. So Google Assistant and voice search is really in trending right now. Not only that, majority of people are thinking, okay, but voice search and Google Assistant and all these Home Assistant devices are really popular with this younger generation. But when we actually see the statistics, we'll see that by the end of this year, more than 50% of millennials will own a voice assistant device at home. And of course, even older generations like Generation X and baby boomers are closing to 25, 30% of penetration. So of course, search is slowly moving because of these new devices, mobile phones, car assistants, and so on, towards voice as well. There's a statistic that Google actually shared last year that more than 20% of searches on mobile devices, on Android, of course, in US are also already done by voice, which was quite surprising for me. There's another statistic from, I think it started with Baidu, I guess, a year ago, that by 2020, 50% of all searches will be done by voice. But then if we look into that really huge number, we see that it was meant in China, so Chinese market, on a mobile phones, on a specific set of industry. So I'm not sure that we can really expect like 50% of all searches being done on mobile, on voice by the end of this year. So we are actually using voice devices and all Google Assistant devices in different periods of day for different stuff. In the morning, we can ask Google what's the weather outside, what's the traffic on route to my office. We ask them about what's on my schedule, which meetings are on my schedule, and so on. So we are more focused on productivity, maybe the weather and so on. And if you're following some news, NBA or stuff like that, you might be maybe checking the news as well. But then when we move more towards the office time, this requests change from weather and media to more communication and productivity and local searches, asking for nearby restaurants for lunch or for dinner and so on. Then in the evening, it goes back to productivity, news, and so on. So it really depends on the period or hour of day, which kind of requests on devices we can actually expect. But then here are a couple of different objections all the time regarding voice. Voice is just for fun. It's great to check the weather, but it doesn't really affect the bottom line of the business. So we don't have to invest in it. Maybe that's true, but there has been a research done 2 years ago in United States and in UK, and the voice commerce, so actually purchases done by true voice devices and true voice actually were closing to $2 billion in 2017, and in 2022 in UK and US only we are closing to $45 billion done by voice commerce, which I think is huge. And it's not only limited to one specific category, it's actually spread throughout the different categories. From groceries, so it's kind of easy to say Amazon to tell Alexa to add specific products on the shopping list, or even Google add this to my shopping list. It's entertainment, it's electronics, it's clothing. So every aspect, different industries are actually being affected or will be affected in the upcoming years by voice search. But more importantly, in my opinion, voice is not really changing the way how we do search and search marketing right now, because majority of voice commands are about action. So Google released a statistic that 40 times assistant queries are 40 times more likely to be action-oriented, meaning that we are talking to Google and saying like, turn off the lights, set the alarm, and so on. And we are not doing this on search, on type search. Even if we analyzed all the queries that are kind of connected to and requests that kind of connected to voice, we see that they are, majority of them are not related to search. They are more related to creating to-do lists, shopping lists, managing calendars, checking news, sports, and so on. And on the fourth place, we have some search-related information. That's why, in my opinion, again, voice search currently is not yet replacing type search, because voice is actually driven by assistant devices and IoT. So talking to your fridge, talking to your, I don't know, vacuum cleaner, and so on. And we were not able to do this with Google type search. So it's totally different type different usage type, voice search versus type search. So the big question is, how are the voice queries then different? What we are seeing, and Google actually confirmed this 2 years ago, that majority of queries that they actually analyze on voice are much longer, and they kind of consist of more natural language, which we typically are omitting, keywords that we are omitting when we do web search, because we are just too lazy to type all the keywords. And another statistic that came from Google and then actually was published by Moz is that majority of voice search are a bit longer, so more than 3 words, up to 9 words in a specific query. So how do we actually optimize for voice? The quick and the simplest answer is we don't, because voice is actually really connected to rich and featured snippets, and we'll discuss this a bit later at Fernando's presentation. But to start this discussion, majority of voice queries are actually informational. So they are not transactional, but they are informational, connected to questions like what, where, who, where, when, why, and stuff like that. So they start with a question. Lots of them include keywords that, as mentioned before, we are kind of omitting when we type our queries into the type search. So too much, what, how to, and so on. So if you analyze your logs or your search console queries, you can actually quite easily see which queries are used or could be used on voice devices. In my opinion, the best approach to voice is actually to optimize for questions. So one easy approach is actually to see on desktop devices, if you type in a specific query, specific question related to your product or service in Google, you will see this snippet in the results people also ask. So these are actually the questions that Google is kind of analyzing, and they see that they are quite common for other users. So if you're able to actually answer those questions with your content on the website, there's more likely that your page and your answer could be featured in a snippet. The second tool that we are usually using is Answer the Public. So it's really nice free tool. And if you type a specific topic into the tool, it will basically show different questions and different topics, connected questions, connected topics for a specific query. I use here Brexit because it's a kind of trending topic nowadays. So we can see different questions connected to why Brexit, no deal, why Brexit will be good, why it's not good. Then you have questions connected to how, can I do something, which, and so on. So different phrases. You can also use Quora or Reddit as let's say, more community spaces where people actually are having discussions, are actually asking different questions around specific topic. You can use search. You can search for your topic or specific topic that you're trying to optimize and see what are the most popular questions that people are actually asking on those platforms. The next step, I guess, it would be to go into your search console on Google and then do some filtering. So what you can do is actually get all the queries, but then filter out all the queries that are related to a specific question. So query which includes how or what or where and so on, and then compare it by device. This will enable you to actually see which queries are more popular on mobile devices, have more impressions on mobile devices versus desktop devices. So if you can find out the query which has lots of impressions but maybe not so many clicks, you can see for which queries, for which questions you could optimize. And it's quite easily to analyze different types of queries in search, Google Search Console, involving misfires on OK Google and Hey Google as well. So you can see if there are, if you have increasing numbers of misfires in your account, that means that people are actually using Google Assistant and Google Voice devices to search for topics, keywords related to your brand, related to your topic, and that your industry is actually, or users in your industry are actually starting to use voice. So it's getting more important for you. Majority of voice search answers are coming from featured snippets, as I mentioned before. So what Google is actually doing is as we see on the right side, Google will analyze a website, and Fernando will go more into details how to do that, how to appear in featured snippets on Google. But when Google analyzes your website and the content of your website and displays these featured snippets on the desktop device, it's actually using this to answer the user on the voice search as well, which is on the left side. So I made a voice request, how to make bread, and Google actually displayed or answered with the same text copy that he's using in the featured snippet on the desktop devices. Majority of these snippets are built around questions, prepositions, and comparisons. So if you can kind of tap into that direction, kind of build content around those three different types, it would be best, or you have more chances to actually appear into the feature snippet. Fernando will go in much more details about how to actually optimize and prepare your content on the website to be featured in the featured snippet. But to end my presentation, the most important thing besides the content is actually speed, HTTPS, and authority. So Google is actually using these three factors as well, besides the content on your website. And if your page is really loading slowly, there's no way you could appear into the inside the voice search and featured snippet. You should be on HTTPS. Of course, majority of websites already are. And Google is actually using domain authority ranks to see if your domain is actually popular, and if your domain rank is high, you have much higher chances of succeeding to be featured in the snippet. So that's it from my side. But as I said, Fernando will go more into details about how to optimize your content on your website.
Awesome. Thank you, Andras.
Thanks.
Excellent. Well, we've got some fantastic questions already flooding in, but we'll save all those till after you've gone through yours, Fernando. I'm quite excited about this. So yeah, if you're ready, let's jump onto your presentation.
So perfect. Let's go with the details.
Fantastic.
About feature snippets. So this is, as Andras was talking, is the gateway to voice search. So this is the fundament of voice search. And we need to say that we have analyzed about 6.9 million feature snippets. So this is our research. This is an actual big research that we made thanks to DJ Gerich and Semrush. And we also analyzed 80 million keywords. So we have a lot of information on the results of the research. And this is not, of course, not our opinion. These are actually numbers that are showing how actually you can create, you can rank for these feature snippets. So let's take a look first on why do you need feature snippets? Why they're so important? Okay. First of all, they are really, really good on the branding stage of your company. They're going to be placed in the first position, well, in the position 0, the so-called position 0 on Google results, and they're going to bring you more traffic. So if there are going to be clicks over there, they're going to increase the CTR of your keywords, and of course, that's going to bring you more revenue. Of course, everything depending on the type of queries that people are making, but from the results that I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes, you're going to see how you can use all this information. And of course, this is the fundament of for voice search. So let's take a look. Let's try to understand feature snippets and their anatomy. So first, the paragraph feature snippet. So as you can see here in the example, you can see a beautiful paragraph. That is the result of the search query, how to get a feature snippet. And of course, you have some words, you have an image, you have a URL, which is really great for having a preview of the content that you are looking for. That's the first type of feature snippet. The second one is the feature snippet list. So you can see there the points all with their respective numbers, and all the information that is responding to my search query, how to get rich snippets. And you see there point number 1, number 2, number 3, and also you can see an image, the URL, and of course the title of that feature snippet. Again, this is my favorite because you have a lot of information that is very actionable. If you are searching for something really fast, you will have it. For example, this is how to get rich snippets. The third type of feature snippets that we find out is the table feature snippet. And this is a beautiful one. Why? Because you have a lot of information in one single feature snippet. For example, World Series MVPs. And here you can see the year, and in the first column, all the star MVPs, in the second, and you have a third column with the name of the stars. So a lot of information in one single place. You can have all of this in this table feature snippet. Why you need all of them? Let's try to understand a little bit more about the type of keywords that actually have feature snippets. So let's go with the keywords, type of keywords. First keyword that we found out is, again, the question type of keywords that are the majority of the feature snippets. And if we're thinking, for example, in the business model, in the customer journey, you can see here that this actually makes sense. The question keywords are always for information for brand awareness, and you can see a lot of people searching for this one. So first part of the channel, first stage, brand awareness, the preposition and the comparison, which are also selected for the next stage of the funnel, consideration and decision. So let's take a look a little bit how they are structured. So question feature snippets. Number 1, let's think about brand awareness, informational search queries. So the number 1, the most popular search question word is by far how. And the type of feature snippet that is activated is the list feature snippet. The second one, that's why we have this information in 2 different columns, because how is a huge result. And of course, is really well distributed with the list and paragraph. If we go with another question keywords like why, are, will, does, do, etc., the majority of the results are the paragraph feature snippets. So for all those question keywords, you can have those type of feature snippets. So that's precisely when we are trying to understand something. If we need, for example, I really like this product. Well, actually, my wife really likes this product. Is the electrical move. Or for example, if you are trying to buy a bicycle or something, you need to understand which one is the best, how to buy online, how to pay with card, or do you need to pay with cash, for example. All those questions about a certain product or service. The reality is that 41% of all question keywords, they have already featured snippets, and this number is just increasing. The second one is the preposition feature snippet. So here, when you already know something about the product or the service, let's stay again in the customer journey, but here you can ask about some details. For example, the preposition snippets are being activated, but these prepositions, for example, for, like, to, with, without, the majority of them are activating the paragraph feature snippet, and also the list as the second majority of the results. And of course, here you have the chance to optimize for different types of lists. For example, the ordered or the unordered with bullet points. That's how you can use this kind of preposition feature snippet, by adding some details to the product or the services that you are offering. For example, let's take a look of this search query: iPhone without SIM card. Or, for example, any other type of product service that is going to be written with a preposition. You can, here in the buyer in the buyer in the customer journey, your buyer persona is actually already taking some decision to say, okay, maybe this is a good one, this is not good one. Let's see how can I can differentiate the product that I want to acquire, or the service. With the proposition snippet, you can receive that, you can bring that information to your final user. And the last one is the comparison feature snippet. So this is for the final stage of the buyer journey. Here you can see those words like, for example, compare, pricing, price, comparing. So this is the final stage when people are actually searching for the numbers, for the price, how to this is not already a how to, this is actually which one is the best. Not Nokia, oh my god, I'm living in the past. Samsung or iPhone, which one is the best one in the market right now? Compare this with this one, which one has the best price. And of course you can see here the result. You can have the paragraph as well, and the information that is going to be here is actually very useful for those people, for those users who are in the last part of the funnel. Okay, how you can format your content for feature snippets. Let's take a look on this. So the results of the research that we made bring us these results. So the average words that you need to introduce in the paragraph are 46 words, 272 characters. Don't go with more. In this example, we have 43 words. The search query is how many companies in Canada. Actually, we saw that this company Salesforce, the famous CRM service, it was on the fourth position of Google, but here they received the feature snippet and they are on the top of it. The next one, of course, you need to be succinct. You need to avoid giant text of words. Just try to write the average number of words, not more than 60 words. Actually, go always with the average, so to be sure that you're going to be shown over there. And of course, the hierarchy of the content, the structure of the content need to be really well designed to explain to Google and to users what are the aspects of your service or product. So that's why you need to use several headers and subheaders. And we found out that the average number of headers and subheaders is 22. So the information needs to be very clear, very simple to understand. Of course, some other characteristic is most of the pages that we have analyzed, they have 83%, they have implemented already HTTPS in their technology, and the average Flashking guide, which says how easy for the user needs to be the text, is 83.6. So the level is for 7th grade. That is for 12 years old kids. So very, very informational and very easy to understand. That's the way you need to write all the text. And of course, this was something that was really impressive for all of us. Why? Because on average, we found 12 images, and all of them, as I repeat again, all of them, they had alt text in there. Of course, Google understands exactly what is on the picture, but you need to write it down as you did 10 years ago or 15 years ago with the alt text content. You need to write what is in the image, because we found out that those images that are appearing for the feature snippet, they contain alt text. So that's a really good choice. And of course, we found out also the average number of external links that are in every single page are 33. So you need to collect a lot of information. So the content that is going to be matched for ranking for feature snippet needs to be really, really good. A lot of citations. So for the list snippet, there is something that you need to know. You can use more than, for example, 8 items. So Google is going to truncate that result, and you're going to see that bottom, the more items, or the see more. And of course, this bottom is going to send users to your website. That's a really good option for you. And this is something that you can use for attracting more people. So if you're gonna put a list in your content, and you need to have a list in your content, of course, put more than 8 items. So here is the average number from 5 to 8. So create more than 8 items, so Google will truncate these results, and you will have more clicks, more people going to your website. The second one is for the table. So for the table, the average number of rows and columns is 5 and 3. Again, here you can force Google to do the truncation, and people are gonna go from the feature snippet to your website to see more items, which is great. So create tables that Google can truncate, and that will be really good for your engagement. And of course, let's try to understand the image. For example, a lot of times we can see that in the feature snippet results, there is a piece of content and there's an image. And sometimes the image doesn't belong to the original URL, to the original content. So Google is publishing an image from other website. Why? Because the image from that content, or maybe that content didn't have any images, you need to format the correct size of image. Google said that the correct image is the landscape 43. We found out the average size for all images, and this is the results: 600 wide and 425 high. That's the correct image that you need to use for acquiring images that are gonna be published within your feature snippet. And this is the cheat sheet you can use to format the content that you have in your webpage. So for that specific purpose, you can use this information and start formatting your content for acquiring feature snippets. How you can do that? For example, you can use tools like position tracking. Here we're gonna give you the ideas, the opportunities ideas to acquire more feature snippets, the ones that are in your niche. The second one, you can check, of course, the search features, all the search features and feature snippets from the organic search position on Semrush within all your search keywords. And of course, you can find more ideas by using the filters. More specific keywords. Again, you can find feature snippets just by using the filters. And if you want to find ideas on questions, you can use, of course, Answer the Public, or you can try to see how you can have more and more question keywords by typing your general keyword. I mean, the most popular keyword that you have, and transforming that keyword into questions with Keyword Magic tool. You're gonna you just need to press the button question, and you're gonna have all the questions rated by volume. And of course, 5 more ideas with topic research. We have mostly a similar tool as Answer the Public, but with the difference that you will find the cluster of subtopics and the questions that people are actually typing on the search bar to find that specific content. So you will have already the intent of the user over there. And that's all from me. Hope it was useful for you. Let's go with the question parts.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, both of you. That was pretty awesome. I've got a feeling there's a lot of valuable information there that people are going to be going away and trying out their featured snippets right away. We've got some awesome questions that have come in, which I'll jump on in a second. But for anyone watching at the moment, this presentation or webinar, sorry, will be posted up online. So if you've missed a bit or you can't stay for the whole thing, it will be posted up so you can watch it further and go back into Fernando's cheat sheet and get all that information as well. So we've got some awesome questions coming in. One just on voice search. How will voice search change search marketing? The dreaded thing that a lot of people say, is it going to kill SEO? So I'll just throw that out to you guys. What are your thoughts?
Fernando, you or me?
You were. I need to drink something. Go first.
Okay. In my opinion, right now it's not affecting search marketing or SEO at all. We can use SEO approaches and how we actually are trying to optimize for featured snippets, and that is affecting voice search. But how people are actually using voice devices and voice assistants, it's not actually replacing what we are doing on the desktop devices. So I have owned Google devices or Home Assistants for the last almost 2 years, bunch of them for the testing purposes in my home and in the office as well. But what I'm seeing from my perspective and my usage of the Google Home Assistant is that I'm not actually replacing what I was doing and I'm still doing on desktop devices with voice search. So currently, I don't think it's affecting what we are doing there, and in the near future, I don't think it's going to replace the type search at all.
Excellent.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yes, I have the microphone. I need to support that because I was also using voice search for the last, I don't know, I was using Dragon Voice since I had 16 years or something. The voice recognition tool, it was very old. Right now, it's beautiful. It can understand everything, but I'm just using for creating text. Actually, for doing search queries, I have my Pixel 3 as Andras because he recommended me. It's really great to use with this kind of devices. For example, I'm on the plane, I'm on my way. I just need to find something really fast, but my search queries are typically the same. So the weather, the timing, about the train, how to get somewhere, they are the same type of queries. I will say 10 or 20 queries the same each day or each week. I'm not trying to find new kind of stuff or doing a big research with that. That's I using Google for that. So
Yeah.
I will not change in the nearest future the way I'm doing my research or the way I'm living with voice search. Voice search right now is like a routine and something more like that. If there's gonna appear some virtual experience, but again, you cannot walk with your headphones and with your glasses into the street to have that experience because it's just too dangerous. So in my opinion, it's not going to affect in the nearest future.
Yeah, I think, as I said, I think voice search is actually driven by IoT devices. So it's basically what we are using is actually we are just too lazy to stand up and turn on the light. So it's, hey Google, turn on the lights and off the lights and TV and so on. So it's basically like a proper assistant to us.
Excellent. Well, just I've always had the thought where if we move with the Internet of Things and like vehicles, cars sort of become a bit more voice enabled, whether this would be possible, but how this would sort of just affect like search marketing. You know, if you're in your car and you want to find, you know, a local shop that sells Levi jeans, and you know, would you be able to ask your car that? Would it be connected to the internet? And kind of how would that affect? But what we do as SEOs, digital marketers in the future, it's quite a sort of an open, broad point there. But whether you guys had any points or sort of discussions around that, I just find that quite fascinating where we could be in many years to come.
Yes, I think that's a good point. So what we are using voice in a car and so on, where we are on transition. But actually, I think using voice is, again, it's not, we were not able to do the same stuff or the same queries before. So now, of course, because we have voice enabled devices in the car as well, so we could easily ask, hey Google, while driving, hey Google, what's the nearest gas station, the nearest ATM there is. So, but again, is this actually really affecting, or is it killing SEO? No. Is it changing how we should do SEO in the near future? A bit. Local is becoming even more important because of it. So yeah, the local pack even more important, and voice search is actually driving the traffic to the local results and whatever the local SEO is doing.
Fernando, any bits you want to jump in there on?
Well, actually, I was reading about how, for example, some professionals can use in the future voice search. For example, doctors during surgeries, they are really busy cutting some part of a human, and they don't have their hands on control. They need to use voice search to use some other specific tools that they have. That's something really brilliant, but for very specific professions, and that's not the present for all doctors. So that's something that is experimental, that is going to be used by a few of them, but this is not the nearest, but I believe there's of course nobody's saying that there is not a big future for this. Maybe that's going to be the future for the search industry, but it's we don't see that it's going to be really soon, for example. But in this industry, in a couple of years, maybe we're going to have only voice devices. Who knows?
Yeah. I think it's a fascinating journey that we're sort of entering in on, and it'll be fascinating to see where we'll be in a few years. Could be quite scary as well. So excellent. But just taking a step back from the future and sort of the present, if anyone's watching this now, what's the best way that they can start looking at voice search queries? Is it Google Search Console the best place they just need to start dipping into to, you know, dip their toe in the water, start understanding what search queries are out there? Okay, so what's the best way for someone going, you know, I've watched this presentation, it's fantastic, I want to just go and get some data, some search queries on, you know, what people are looking for over voice search?
Well, I believe the first and the most important source of search queries, of voice search queries, are questions of the customers, are questions of the users. If you have a customer team or customer success team, if you have the frequently asked questions, that's the first source of information. You don't need to go to any other tool to understand what are the most important questions that your users are having, because they already know what they want to ask from your business. So that's the first source. But if you want to amplify the potential of the search queries, yes, you need to go to other resources. For example, Answer the Public, Semrush, or any other keyword research tool that are on the market. But if you know very well the model of your business, you definitely need to ask your users first.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I would agree. I think it's really similar to how we are or we're doing the classical keyword research for the old times SEO. So just getting lots of different ideas from different perspectives, from different sources, it's the best approach. What we are doing with a couple of our clients is actually talking to their sales teams. So because sales teams are on the field, they know what their customers or potential customers are actually asking. And the second thing is, or the second great resource is actually call centers. So these are again people who are constantly on a call with customers, potential customers, and they have really lots of knowledge what are the most common questions. And then you start with that, expand with different tools like Fernando said, and you're good to go.
Excellent. So just on the back of that, just continuing our conversation, we've had a question saying, where can I look for traffic forecasts for voice search queries? So you guys are saying, really, once you've kind of collated all that information, dip into Google Search Console, you'll be able to see some more of that information once you started to segment that how, what type of query. Did you recommend Semrush as well, that you could get some of that question data as well? So that's quite useful for that question. Let's have a look, see what other questions we've got. There's quite an interesting one that's come through here. Do you think, and this is for featured snippets, do you think that Article 13 that just passed will affect the featured snippet? What are your thoughts, guys?
You know about that, Andras? I'm not aware about that.
Yeah, I know a bit of it. I don't know all the details, but I guess in some level it's going to affect. Depends on where your contents, or if your content is actually unique and how it's shared. We'll see how actually European Union is going to implement the Article 13, or how it's called. I think it's 13.
13, yeah.
It could be a potential killer for Google featured snippet, especially if they really force them to meet all the news and all the content they are displaying from news sites and so on. But it's just too soon to tell what's going to happen, in my opinion.
Awesome. Well, we'll wait to see. And just carrying on with featured snippets, we've got another question saying a lot of external A lot of external citations are not possible for manufacturers' e-commerce websites. Is that a necessary factor, or is that a necessity for featured snippets?
Well, actually, when we were doing the research, we found out that that's the average number. that the average number doesn't mean that you need to have all the 22. For example, for the needs of the industry, that is the always well-received answer of any SEO. It depends. If you cannot put that because that's a restriction on your industry for ranking on that, so let's experiment with 22. Let's experiment with less. Of course, you don't need to experiment with your main products and services. Experiment with something that you can you can risk. You need to have somehow the space to do that type of experiment. For example, for some manufacturers, I understand you are not allowed to do that. You cannot do that because you have some contracts, you have some information behind that needs to be protected. But still, you can have 10. You can have more than 10. That will be nice. Just experiment with that.
And to add on that, I think what we are quite commonly like forgetting is that we have different industries. It's not like aggregated. Each industry is a bit specific. So like manufacturing, nobody can share specific content, specific data. But then on the other hand, when you have like recipes, basically each recipe or each site that publishes recipes has this like instructions how to bake a bread and so make a bread and so on. So it depends on the industry that you're in. If your industry is a bit more conservative, Google will notice that. So if nobody is sharing specific data or specific type of data, Google will not demand that you need to share it to appear in a rich snippet.
Excellent. Fascinating. So just, carrying that on, we've got another question saying, do you believe special HTML formatting is necessary to get in featured snippets or make you more eligible? Let's say putting product features into tables or lists. So is that more of a necessity, do you feel?
I will say that, yes, of course, you need to make Google understand it's a robot, right? You need to explain a robot, this is a table, this is a list. You open your div, say table content, and you need to close that div. Yes, you need to specify this is a list, this is a table, and Google will understand that, of course. So yes, definitely yes.
Excellent. And then actually just on the back of that, we've got, can jump links be included with your content to help with showing up in featured snippets?
Oh, that's a good question. It's possible.
Yeah, I think you can include them, but of course, Google will not display them in the rich snippet. I think it's not actually going to hurt your possibility to be shown there. But I've seen some cases where actually Google is still displaying rich snippet, where on the website you have links, jump links in the list or in the list.
Awesome. And just a question I wanted to pose, because it's something I'm always quite interested in, is how do featured snippets affect website traffic? When I originally started seeing featured snippets, the back of my head, I was thinking you're in a sense reducing sometimes traffic coming to your website. So yes, you've got to that position 0, awesome. People are seeing your impressions of your website. But then if someone's not clicking through, you're kind of maybe losing out on that traffic. I know, Fernando, I think it was in your presentation, you were mentioning about trying to get that hook to try and get someone to click through. But yeah, what are your thoughts on, how do featured snippets affect website traffic and affect, companies like Wikipedia and stuff like that?
I think if I can start, in my opinion, we need to understand what Google is actually doing. So Google is really about user, and they want to create the best user experience ever. And because majority of users or how we access the internet and the content moved from desktop devices to mobile devices, of course, our access or the speed is a bit slower. So for Google, the speed, how fast they can actually satisfy the user need is really important. That's why they are looking into solutions. How can actually they present the information on the search result page? Well, if we are building or following the SEO, we know about the AMP and all those technology challenges and advancements they did. And of course, in voice and with feature snippets, they are doing the same. So in my opinion, Google does not have a clear intent of sending all the traffic back to your website. They just are trying to satisfy user needs on the result page. So it's a sneaky move from their side, and we need to kind of figure it out how to still get the content, otherwise, or the visitor to the website. As Fernando mentioned before, if it's a list or a table, you can build a longer list, so Google will actually truncate it and show the link to your website and so on. And it's kind of call to action for users. Show more, they will go to website.
Fernando, any bits?
Yes, it's part of the path being working with Google. You need to adapt to their strategies because they want to have the best experience for the users and to show more information or just a bit of information about the best results. So that's the feature snippet. You have a preview of what you can use further. But again, you need to adapt to Google strategies and adapt that strategy to your own. That's why I was mentioning that, okay, for this type of keyword questions, you need to use the customer journey because they are good for brand awareness. Not all the feature snippets are good for brand awareness. Some of them are good for the final state, that is decision. If you want to purchase something, you're not going to ask about the properties or the characteristic of the product. You're going to ask about the price. And if you don't have that price in a feature snippet, people are going to go to the second, third result, or even they're going to go to Google My Business, to the carousel of Google My Business result. That's why you need to use that kind of information wisely. I heard a lot of agencies saying that, oh no, feature snippets are stealing the traffic for our pages. That's not the situation. If you are not the climate channel, because all the time people are searching what is the temperature right now in my city, you're not losing any traffic. Almost you are gaining more and more qualified traffic for those feature snippets.
Yeah, definitely.
I can agree on some points. So yeah, with weather and traffic and so on, I would totally agree. But then you have other cases like recipes. It's so Google Hub with the big one with the screen. I have it at home. It's great for cooking. So I don't know how to bake a specific cake, blah blah blah. So I see the recipes there. I'm not going to the website again because Google will use the content from the website, display it as a result in voice or on a display, and they are not getting any benefit. So I think that's a huge question where we headed. So I think that that's part of why European Union is actually looking into Article 13 and so on. Because 10 years or 15 years ago, there was like, let's say, a deal between content creators on the website and Google. We created content, or clients created content, and Google kind of provided the users or to the website. But now Google is actually sucking the content and showing it on the website, and they are not sending any traffic to the news sites, to the media sites, to the content providers. So it's not fair, in my opinion. It's not fair anymore, or how it was.
That's true. And I was again, I was last week in Australia, and I was with a blogger with the restaurants. He was doing his post about recipes, and he was asking me, how can I find if I have a feature snippet? And I said, okay, let's go to Semrush. We're going to research. Let's filter. Oh my God, you have 800 feature snippets. Oh, I didn't know that. So again, if you have that kind of result, of course you are losing traffic because you didn't format. There are different ways, there are different techniques that people can use to, let's say, I don't love this word, but to manipulate, to format this content so you can benefit from that type of result. Mm-hmm. Most of the bloggers out there, they don't even know they have already featured snippets. That's why they are losing that precious traffic.
Yeah. I agree.
Excellent. So if you're watching this and you're wondering where some of your traffic's gone, sign up to Semrush, have a look and see how many featured snippets you've got. But I think that's an interesting point. I saw another question. Somebody put that it was kind of saying that maybe not, it's being a bit smarter with what you're going to set up as a featured snippet. Because from what you were saying, Fernando, it sounds like that person just sort of marked up whatever they felt they could, and didn't really understand to the implications of what they were possibly doing and what the results were. And they were just a bit in the dark. So yeah, it sounds like everyone really needs to kind of be a bit smarter at what you want to have as a featured snippet, why, and then whether, as you say, you can manipulate to get that kind of hook to get someone to come to the site, and not just scatter every page with how many featured snippets can we get on our site to get that position. So really thinking about what your business goals are as well. Yeah, excellent. Well, we've only got 4 minutes left, so I don't know whether you guys just wanted to finish off talking a bit more about In Orbit. I know you didn't get a chance, Andras, if you just wanted to drop any more bits of information to the audience.
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned earlier, In Orbit is like a digital growth marketing retreat that we are organizing in Slovenia in mid-March next year. So Fernando was one of the speakers. We had a lovely time there, around 600, 700 attendees. And we are currently having super early bird tickets available, a few of them still on the website. So if you want to check it out, inorbit.si. Lots of different speakers across the world. And of course, Fernando will be there, I guess, next year as well.
Yeah, the place was fantastic, 5-star hotel. You have the view of the, actually that's the sea, right? That's,
yeah.
What's the name of that sea?
Adriatic Sea.
The Adriatic Sea, which is transparent, it's crystal clear. So yes, definitely, I need to go there with my family again, because it's
beautiful.
A beautiful place. Yes, the air. Actually, I cannot breathe right now because I know it was so clear for my lungs without toxic. Oh yes, in UK the air is not that clear. Well, in London, in some parts of UK it is, but in London it's not that clear. But again, a magnificent event for people that are requiring more knowledge. It was not a basic event. Actually, the topics were very high level. Some of them were really technical. I was really impressed by the speakers. I remember the guy for Supermetrics. Oh, he was fantastic. He was mind blowing with his picture with the guy from Facebook. Oh my God, Zuckerberg. Yeah. And the CNN News asking how all the conflict that they have. Well, no, it's some kind of information that you will not read on any blog post. You need to be there and actually talk with the speaker, have a chat with the speaker. That's why these kind of events are really good for any type of professional who wants to grow, of course.
Awesome. And where can people sign up for tickets if they want to find out more?
So again, it's www.inorbit.si, and there's a registration on the homepage. Available tickets, super early bird, only I think 240 euros, all tracks. So
excellent, fantastic. Well, we've literally run out of time now. I apologize to everyone who posted up a question and we've not had a chance to answer them. We tried to get through as many as we could. An hour just never seems to be enough. I feel like we could have a couple more of these just to cover a few of the questions we were discussing. I don't know if there's any closing points you want to mention, guys, but for anyone, as I said earlier in the webinar, this webinar will be available to rewatch on YouTube, Semrush. The guys there will post that up, so make sure you're following them on Twitter, etc. to see when this goes up. But yeah, any closing points, guys?
Yeah, let me go first. Well, actually, there's a great post in Semrush blog that is called "Advanced Techniques to be a Featured Snippet" by the great, the only Jason Barnard. You need to read that. If you're, I see a lot of people about schema, how many schema, how we can use schema, how else we can acquire featured snippets. If you want some advanced techniques, that post is for you. Advanced Techniques by Jason Barnard. And of course, read again our research that we made. You will find out how to format your content, because that's the thing right now. Google is more into questions, into an answer search engine, not into the search engine. So that's what we are seeing right now with voice search and feature snippets.
Yeah, I totally agree. What Semrush did with the research, it really has a lot of value, some great insights. Also in my presentation, there are a couple of links at the bottom of the slides to additional resources. And I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn or Twitter and have a discussion about this if you want.
There we go. Fantastic, guys. Well, we've hit the hour mark, so thank you to you two for presenting fantastic presentations. Thank you for everyone that's joined in and watched us today. So wherever you are in the world, because we've got the whole globe tuning in, good morning, good evening, and good night. Have a good day, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Tristan. Lovely. Bye.